Yes. Yeah. It's always though.
Brandon was mentioning that you were telling guys don't help off of your guys. Give me Giannis. We're going to get beat. Giannis is going to do it one-on-one. What kind of focus did you have just on strictly that matchup in this game?
I was, when you're going against one of the greats, you got to be locked in, So I came into this game, with a mentality to try to stop him. I didn't want guys to overhelp because, if he goes off and he get 40 and we stop everybody else, we still got a great chance of winning the game. So I just didn't want them getting, overhelping too much. And all of those guys like Torian Prince or Brook Lopez, you got to go in there for a minute. Kuz, I didn't want them guys to end up kind of taking them home because we're overly focused on Giannis. And so, just was trying to tell the guys, like, be there early, but don't stay there, Be there early and then start exiting out to your guy. I'll get back. And we struggled there with it in the third quarter, but we were great the first two quarters and we were great the fourth quarter. We ended up figuring it out again, which was great.
How would you describe what Jimmy can do offensively when he decides to kind of ratchet it up?
Well, he is who he is. He's incredible offensively. He commands so much attention. And for us, that's great because he's allowing everybody else to get to spots where they're comfortable and either get layups or, open jump shots. So, when he's being that aggressive, which obviously we needed him to be that aggressive tonight with Steph out, it's one of the toughest matchups in the NBA. And we've seen that for years on end now.
How much of that aggression out of Jimmy is kind of like a preview of what it could look like in the games that, really matter, playoff Jimmy and everything?
Yeah, I have zero doubt that it won't look like that. I think it'll look just like that and it'll continue to get better. Jimmy, he's still figuring out his spots. Guys are still figuring out where he wants you on the court when he has the ball here or when he has the ball there, where he wants you on the court. And so we're still figuring all of that stuff out. But, we know what he's capable of. And I always tell the guys when all else fails, just shot clock get to 6. We ain't got nothing. Just throw him the ball. He'll figure it out. And he did that tonight all night. It was beautiful.
It's award season, getting towards it. Do you think you have a Defensive Player of the Year case this year?
I think, obviously, we keep winning and close this year out strong. Most definitely. I look around the league, I don't see many players impacting the game on the defensive end the way I do. I don't see many players completely throwing off an entire team's offense the way I do. So, 1,000%. Especially with Wemby going down. Seemed like he had it won. And now it's right there. 1,000,000%. I have a case, and I'll continue to build that case for these next 13 games. But tonight, I think, was a prime example of that.
We talk about Jimmy getting used to this offense with Steph. Obviously, things have gone a certain way for many years. But on defense, you run the show, clearly. Has it been an easy adjustment, you think, just to drop into this? It seems like you guys, certainly in that fourth quarter, you were really tied together with the help, the show, the help, all the backside being protected. What's that been like?
It's so easy to add him in because he is like me. He thinks like me. He sees the floor like me or better. I'm not going to sit here and act like, oh, man, I'm the world's greatest, and he's not. There are certain things that he see better than me, and so to have a guy like that, you add him into the fold, for me, it makes me all the more comfortable to know that I can be aggressive, that I could take some chances and know that at the end of the day, there's going to be Jimmy on the backside to cover up any mistakes that anyone makes. And so that's usually me in that position, covering up, for mistakes. But when it allows me to, you think of an offensive player, right? Like you're going to give a guy who's incredible offense, you're going to give them a little more freedom than you may give others. And they're probably going to take a little more chances or a shot that maybe other guys wouldn't take. I think that's me on the defensive end. I may do something that's unorthodox. You know, I may do something that's not quite how we schemed it, but it's something that I saw could work. And every now and then you take those chances and it don't work, and you can get burnt. With Jimmy on the backside, he covers it up. You know, he'll see me go and he'll plug that spot. And so it's been extremely easy and very comforting for me adding him to the fold. And, you know, he makes the game a lot easier for all of us on both sides of the ball.
You said the same thing about you, I was going to be more aggressive, than your mind, yeah.
That's a good partnership.
Yeah, I was going to say that because he did say that. And he also said that, obviously he always had a great appreciation for your defense, but that, you sometimes are like five plays ahead of everybody on defense. A lot of guys do that on offense. When you hear a guy like Jimmy talk to you about that, talk about you like that, and how important you are to the defense, like Tim said, he said that you let him do what you just said you're doing. So what does that mean for you guys going down the stretch here, that you guys have that kind of symbiotic relationship on defense?
I think it means well for this team, that's for sure, which is why it's no surprise to me that we're before last night, I don't know what after last night, but we were number 2 defense in the league since he's been here by a few ticks. You know, that's no surprise to me when you speak like that. But it's great, man, to have a guy like that feels the same way that I feel about him, that he feels about me. That's kind of a match made in heaven. But I'm extremely appreciative of him speaking to me that way. Because like I said, he is someone that's smart as hell, that I respect his basketball IQ. And so I'm thankful that he sees me in that light. You always want to be respected by your peers. And for him to say I'm 5, I don't know if I'm that far ahead, but I appreciate it.
He also said that, you would hate it if a 5-year-old scored on you.
Well, 1,000,000%. I hate when anybody score on me. Or I hate when my man score on someone else. I'll be losing my mind.
Draymond, pre-Jimmy, I'm not to disparage any of your teammates, but pre-Jimmy, if on a normal night, if you're facing Giannis and you don't have Jimmy back there, are you having to do more, not just on Giannis, but are you worried about other things and trying to shore up the defense in other areas and that you don't have to worry about now?
I just think trust is earned in anything, and he's quickly earned that trust, and so it does allow you to focus on things that you're like, oh man, I know I don't have to get there. Jimmy's there, and like you said, it's no disrespect to any of our teammates, but some people are better at some things than others. That's just the world we live in. That's the game we play, and Jimmy's great at seeing the play weak side, from seeing the whole floor and identifying a problem. I always say if there's a fire on defense, I'm going to go put the fire out. I'm not just going to sit there and watch it. And Jimmy's the same way, and that type of aggressiveness, that type of attention to detail, it's hard to score on that. When a guy sees a problem and they just go address it right away. So oftentimes you see guys on the defense side of the ball, they see a problem and they just sit there and look at it. And you're like, yo, go. Like, it's a problem. It's a problem. And Jimmy doesn't. He see a problem, he goes. I see a problem, I go. And so, it really allows you to focus and lock in on that matchup 100%.
You said that with Jimmy, you're able to take more risks on defense, take chances. I was wondering tonight, was there a moment, especially in that fourth quarter, where you were able to kind of take a chance on defense that maybe you wouldn't be able to take if Jimmy went on the floor?
I think just picking him up full court. I picked Giannis up full court for most of the game. Anytime he got the ball, I was there to pick him up. And that right there, every time I picked him up, Jimmy said, yo, keep going, go pick him up. I'm going to be in the gap if he get by you. You just run to my man if he get by you, And so, again, with that type of communication, it's very comforting as a defender to be that far up the floor and knowing that you have someone back there that has your help. Because it's daunting to be that far up the floor with Giannis Antetokounmpo with the ball coming downhill. It's a tall task. And so just to know that you have that help back there if you do get beat, it allows you to play with that aggressiveness to be able to pick him up and stop his momentum.
On the Defensive Player of the Year, you've won 1, Kevin Garnett won 1, Tim Duncan won none.
Crazy. He can have mine. 'Cause
It's-
he should have 7 of them.
It's hard to go year by year, right? But historically, like that doesn't seem right. Why do you think the voters have had maybe a hard time with that award?
Because I think the voters look at stat numbers, and I don't want to oversell myself because I have so much respect for Tim Duncan and Kevin Garnett, but I do think I'm that great defensively. And if you don't watch the game, you can miss it. And I think if you just go look at the stats, it don't always tell the story. And so for a player like KG, for a player like Tim Duncan, myself, it ain't all about the blocks. It's not all about the steals. What are you covering? And I think, like myself, they cover for everybody. And when you can cover for everybody, you know, sometimes you can get a lot of steals and there's guys covering for you. Because you're getting a lot of steals, you're probably taking a lot of risk. We cover for people. And I think, you know, that's why I have one and they have one. Because you know, I mean, you got some people that has a vote on the East Coast that probably see us play 4 times a year. And if you look at the stats, you're going to be like, oh, Draymond averaged 1 steal and a block. Those numbers don't jump off the page at you. But you go watch me play. And then you go ask the opposing coach, what did I do to their offense? It's a different story. Same for Timmy D. Same for KG. And so, you know, I think when you look at it, the award is widely based off statistics. And those statistics don't always tell the story. Some guys get the stats and get picked on. Some guys get the stats and can be a liability to their defense. They take too many chances. The defense break down. We don't do that. Sometimes you get punished for it. But championships, all 3 of us got. So I'm sure just like myself, they'd much rather have those than more defensive player of the years. But I want another one. And I ain't retired yet, so shout out to them OGs. They are incredible, great. But I still got a chance.